Now then, the Wyfold Challenge Cup for coxless fours. And a contest here between the London Rowing Club on the Berkshire side and Tideway Scullers in red on the Bucks station. And it's a thrill to be alongside John Boltby now. I was going to say a man who needs no introduction, but there's not too much, John, that you haven't contributed to the world of rowing internationally through the years, and so I look forward to being educated by you and hearing what you have to say. You're enjoying it so far?
Enjoying Henley as every year. It's a great regatta and great to see it being sent around the world by means of this broadcast, and enjoying magnificent conditions here today after a very hot and steamy Wednesday. Thursday is much more comfortable, not only for those in the stewards' enclosure and around the riverbank, but for the rowers as well. And these two fours who raced yesterday, both of them, of course, having won their way through to today, will enjoy the cooler conditions.
This is live. They haven't yet been called to attention. These are the nervous moments before every race as the oarsmen brace.
Straight and ready. I will start you like this.
That's Mr. Michael Williams, one of the umpires whose voice you can hear in the background, preparing the crews for the start. We often see at Henley that some of the non-English speaking crews take the preparation as being the actual start, and off they go. But I don't think the Scullers crew or the London Rowing Club crew have that problem. Now they're away. Tideway Scullers on the right with the red and yellow blades, and London Rowing Club on the left. London Rowing Club, an unseeded crew, and the Tideway Scullers crew being seeded and defeating Newark yesterday. Both crews did a fairly similar time. Tideway Scullers, I followed that race, and they were bright out of the start yesterday as they are today, just getting their bow ahead of the crew from London Rowing Club.
They did get a smart start again there, Tideway Scullers, didn't they? As you rightly mentioned, John, they each won yesterday in similar times and by similar distances, both relatively comfortably. London Rowing Club beat Fulham Reach by 4 1/4 lengths. Tideway Scullers beat Newark by 4 3/4 lengths. I wonder whether those degrees of victory play in any sense a mental part. Was there an ease that they need not to be tricked by today, because this is a whole different contest?
Well, a little bit. If they're looking at yesterday's results, they'll see that both did about the same time to the barrier and about the same time to falling. And after that, the margin had been established by each of these two winning crews. And the second half of the race, it's hard to tell whether the same amount of effort was needed from both of them. But it's a very even race here. Both of them rating about the same. London Rowing Club there in the picture, neat, precise, as we're used to seeing from London Rowing Club. Rowing relatively close to the booms, which will keep them out of the other crews' puddles, but both of the crews keeping very even throughout the early part of the race, which is true to form from yesterday.
Both crews are being steered by their stroke. In London Rowing Club's case, that's Andrew Morgan, and for the Tideway Scullers, it's Stuart Heap.
Yes, the stroke man using his foot stretcher, which is attached to the rudder strings, and there's a slight move of the foot one way or the other will adjust the steering. These coxless boats are pretty good in the at Henley generally. They're used to being able to keep close to the booms and away from the other crews, but not so much that they could get into trouble with a faulty stroke. But we're not seeing any faulty strokes from either of these two crews, and from that picture it looks like London's moved out ahead of the crew from the Tideway Scullers school. Both of them training on the Thames in London, with the slightest of margin now we see being held by London Rowing Club, or no, not so. As they come up to the camera, it's Tideway Scullers who've got the lead.
Tideway Scullers not quite, I don't think, with clear water, but certainly with an evident advantage.
There they are going through the Forley mark, and having spoken about the good steering, we see London Rowing Club moving a bit towards the centre of the course now.
Would that, John, be a deliberate move?
Not necessarily. At this stage of the race, I'd think it would be unlikely. If they were in front and were tending to move towards the middle, yes, you would say it could be deliberate. Here, it would be a brave move to try and force Tideway Scullers off their line, and I doubt if that's what's happening from where London are sitting at the moment. They should be concentrating on their own boat at this stage. But it's a good lead now that the Tideway Scullers school have opened up over the unseeded London Rowing Club crew, and it's a good 2.5 lengths. So Tideway Scullers have made the most of the part of the river between the barrier and Forley to get a good lead coming into the enclosures in the last part of the race.
Tideway Scullers this season third in the elite Coxless Fours at the Marlow Regatta, third in the senior Coxless Fours on the Saturday of the Metropolitan Regatta, second in the Open Coxless Fours on the Sunday of the Ghent Regatta. So they've been getting close, and they are getting closer to the finish line here, and having been kept close by London Rowing Club for the first 2/3 or so of this race, they now do have substantial clear water and a sense of security in their position, and it would appear a near certainty about their progress to the next round.
And this is how they raced yesterday, but against better opposition today, as the week goes on, the races get harder and tighter. But Tideway Scullers have certainly got a good margin that is unlikely to be able to be closed to any degree by the London Rowing Club crew as they move now in front of the enclosures towards the end of the race. Well disciplined, the Tideway Scullers crew. The timing's good, there's precision, not a lot of water being thrown around. A little bit of headwind as they come into the closing stages of the race. You'll remember it was very calm at the start, and just a ripple on top of the water as they move into the final stages of this heat of the Wyfold Challenge Cup.
Well, we have, of course, largely because of the extreme heat of yesterday, mentioned the weather a lot. I have to tell you that I think it might become a factor over the next hour or two. Yesterday's blue skies have given way to much cloudier skies from first thing this morning, and it's now markedly darker and grimmer overhead. Wouldn't be surprised to see a drop or two of rain sometime over the course of the afternoon, so these guys will be glad to have got their business done relatively early, and from a Tideway Scullers point of view, that business has been done more than satisfactorily. They look very confident in their race plans on days 1 and 2. They've done precisely what they've needed to do. They've led this race from the very start to the very finish. London Rowing Club never let them go. They were never freed. There was always a race on, but Tideway Scullers had enough and did enough, and they progressed to Friday as London Rowing Club follow them home 3 or 4 lengths behind.